Hi, everyone. Thank you for being with us on our conference from Behind the Development. We're really glad to have you on board. First of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Alexandre Chénier. I'm the owner of Hockey Development. I'm also a Hockey Canada Certified Skill Coach and Hockey Quebec Certified Skill Coach. I'm working with Major AAA here in my city, and I'm also a teacher in physical education at elementary school. Um, I have worked with pro player to younger player, and I have many camp during summer also. Thank you for being with us, like I said, and I'll let introduce my partner Mitch.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for the introduction. This is me, Mitch Jigger. I just came back a couple of weeks ago from Russia. I'm the video coach for the Torpedo Nizhny Novgorod in the KHL. I just finished my first year with them. I am the chief of hockey development in North America for Sport Contract. I'm certified by Canadian Sport Institute, so I have my advanced coaching diploma. So basically, it's the NCCP 4. On top of that, I'm certified high performance 2 by Hockey Canada that I've done, I think it was 6 or 8 years ago. And I'm the owner of Behind the Bench, basically a video analyst that I can guide people, coaches, players with it. So I've worked with coaches from a different level on the video side. Check out my website if you need more information, www.behindthebench.ca. And lastly, basically, I've worked as a head coach or assistant coach or GM at probably every level. Work here in Quebec from U8 to U20. Work with as a scout in the Q here. Work in the WHL. Work in the CSSHL. I've worked youth sports. I've worked with pro guys, young guys. Now I'm working in the KHL. So this is who I am. If we move to why we picked behind the development, or I should say behind the development, it's a mix of me and Alex. So I own behind the bench, and he's own hockey development in French, en français. So it's a mix of both. So that's why we had a lot of questions. Hey guys, you've made a mistake. No, it's not a mistake. So it's behind the me and development in French him. So that's a mix that we decided to merge together. So that's why it's not a mistake. It's just a mix of us. So that's why I think it's great because we want to make sure we reach as much as people as we can. Before moving back to Alex with our speaker for this presentation, I will just like to say thank you to all our partners. Without them, we will never have the same exposure worldwide for sure. Everything went beyond and above so far, and thank you to all of you to make this happen. So, first of all, we would like to thank the coaches side. Uh, with coaches side, we if you're using the coupon BTD21 you can save $20 off of an annual membership. And if everyone who subscribe to one of the live conferences, we will giving one free annual membership at the end. So in June, we would like to say thank you to coach them. With them, they provide all the drawing that you can see in the conferences or after throughout the email. You can save 15% off on an annual membership by using the coupon BTD15. BTD15. Same thing as the coaches side. Coach then will give one free annual membership at the end of all the conferences to everyone who subscribed to one of the conferences. And we would like to say thanks to True Hockey. They will give 3 pairs of gloves at the end of the conferences. So we will pick 3 people that will receive a brand new designed by True pair of gloves, the color and the size that you want, obviously. So we would like to say thank you to 3 of them. And we would like to say thank you to Hockey Quebec and Hockey Canada to help us to be part of them and to make that this country not probably the best country in the world with hockey. So, Alex, your turn with the presentation and the speaker for today.
Thank you, Mitch. I'm pleased to introduce you to our next speaker for today. Um, McCullough will be with us. He will talk about skill to generate a first pass. Zach is a Hockey Canada certified skill coach. He's a Barrie Junior Colts development coach. So thank you very much. Enjoy the conference, and thank you, Zach.
We're going to talk about, it should be hopefully go 40 minutes ish, just so we can fit in some questions if anybody's got anything. We'll have lots of NHL examples and lots of teaching clips that I've got included here too. So there'll be lots for us to visually see. So we're going to talk about skills to generate a first pass. I'll just give you a little quick background myself first. So I completed the HP1 program with Hockey Canada. As Alex mentioned, I've was lucky enough to get to know him and complete the Hockey Canada skills certification. I've been fortunate enough to partake in the U17 development camp a couple of years ago. Last time it ran as a D skills coach. And then I'm a player development coach in Barrie with the AAA organization. I help out a couple other organizations nearby, but we've got a pretty unique and development program that we run here with some quality people too. So I work at a national training rinks full time, and then I kind of operate Apex hockey training from there. So what we're going to talk about is kind of three areas. So all topics won't be necessarily making that first pass as a defenseman, but we're going to kind of progress through getting the puck back in kind of each category that we're going to bring up, and then finish with skills to complete that first pass. And we're going to see some of the fruits of our labor, I guess you can say, when we do get that puck back, and the effect that it has on our team and on the exit and neutral zone, and generating a quality chance. So the first topic that we'll cover is just get it back. So it'll be examples of stick on puck, cut into hands, hit and pin, hit and contain, that type of thing. Secondly, we'll go through some 50-50 battles, and protecting the puck area, position before possession, puck strength, strength on our feet, kind of contact prior to or contact post battle. And lastly, we'll go over cover deception or misdirecting players. So we've got that puck back and we're being challenged. We've got to be able to identify pressure, identify outs, misdirect that F1, potentially pass through somebody. So we'll see some clips of that. All of our clips that we're going to go through will be kind of NHL last year prior to the pause, or just recently to this year. So first one we'll look at is get it back. So they'll be pretty, I mean, we're talking about stick on puck. So everybody's heard of the term, introduced it at some point in time to their players. But what I want to do is kind of dig a little bit deeper on recognizing the situation here. So typically, Montreal's the defending team. We're going to look at Jeff Petrie. So Montreal's defending, puck goes up to the blue line, their defensive blue line. So most teams end up going into, in their defensive zone plan, into a 5-on-5 man-on-man situation. So that's exactly what Jeff Petrie does. He's able to close his gap. He anticipates a pass being made down to William Nylander. That's when he's put himself in a position to close his gap, engage with that player, and use our stick on puck skill tactic to regain possession. So we'll watch the clip, and then we'll just watch a couple things here. So there's stick on puck one. He's got a tight gap. He's able to flush it up the wall. There's Josh Anderson's able to pick it up. He doesn't just hang back as defensemen kind of tend to do. He follows the play up. So Jeff Petrie then ended up getting this puck back, or disturbing it to start, has now become the middle lane driver. And this is kind of the result here of our initial stick on puck. So we'll go back one more time. We'll watch each clip a couple times. So there's Jeff Petrie, closes his gap on the man-on-man situation, stick on puck. All right, he's able to disrupt the puck, Nylander falls, he's able to flush it out again, and then he's able to flush it again. Middle lane driver, and then Montreal is in a situation to generate a high scoring chance. I don't know if they score here or not, but they've got a position A to bury one. Next here is going to be Jamie Drysdale. So Jamie Drysdale is like 10 games into his NHL career here, playing against Nathan MacKinnon. So again, our situation is puck goes up the wall, and then MacKinnon is going to release from the front of the net. Now Jamie Drysdale is going to recognize that the puck's gone up high in the zone. He's going to stay on his man, and read the situation to give himself the best possible chance at forcing a turnover here via stick on puck. So puck's up the wall. He's got nothing to do with it, so he's got to recycle it. Drysdale's able to close his gap on Nathan MacKinnon, and then I believe that's Shattenkirk again. We've gone from not having the puck to regaining it with a stick on puck play, and the recognition of maintaining a tight gap as that Colorado player climbs the wall. Drysdale sticks on MacKinnon, and he's able to force a turnover again. Now we're in a situation where we've got the puck back, and we're accelerating through the neutral zone. Secondly, we're going to look at hit and pin or hit and contain here. So this one will be of, I believe it's Taze on Colorado. So again, forward escape, he's able to get him to the wall, and he's just hit and contain where support comes in. Support punches it up the wall, and then able to bump it to D2 that's activated through the middle of the ice. So again, we've taken a hit and contain situation. We've gotten the puck back because we've contained, we've allowed support to come in and strip that player of our puck, to generating a 3-on-2 throughout the neutral zone. All right, so last one here, and our last one is going to be, it's actually of a centerman down low. This is, I believe his name is Comfer on Colorado, but we'll see how he makes this play. So again, he's able to challenge, hit and contact, and then he's able to free that puck. Okay, now Graves, the D-man, retrieves it. Here comes our first pass, stretch, and again. So from that initial contact in the corner by our low F1 in the D zone, we've created a 3-on-2 at our offensive blue line here. So again, we've seen how effective making some simple plays in our own end and knowing the situation, how that allows us. Now, this is a good clip if we're all coaching minor hockey or junior or some type of prep program, something like that. So I know everybody gets questioned about kids wanting to play center. That's a good example of what a forward skill a forward needs to have down low in the D zone if they would like to play center. It's not always, I know they always think that they're going to score goals and this and that, but that's an important aspect of the center position. So a couple skills that we just highlighted were stick on puck, obviously, and then hit and contain. So both these skills are highly effective in getting our puck back from an opponent with 100% possession. So now we've able to get our puck back, and we're going to be contributing to our team breaking the puck out and hopefully breaking that puck out into the neutral zone and a clean exit with it on our stick. So we've identified some skills that we want to teach. So this would be kind of something that I would get into if I'm going to get into stick on puck. We're going to isolate it right down to that particular stick on puck situation, not some long drawn out drill. So all our forward is going to do is turn up ice towards the boards around the bottom of the circle in the corner, and that will allow me to close my gap. All right, close my gap, stick on puck, and then battle to get it back. All right, and then again, same thing. We'll go 2 times through here. Same way, here's my stick on puck. I'm able to poke and then get close enough to where I'm able to battle for my puck. I've got close proximity so I can jump back to two hands and compete for that puck. Okay, good drill to do with our players if we want to isolate a certain situation along the wall. Primarily, I would suggest us to begin with ourselves, the coaches being the forwards. That'll remove any kind of competition immediately from the drill and allow us to teach that player exactly what we're trying to do. And then I'll get a little more in depth at the end, but it just aids in the teaching process. Clip number 2, same thing. Now we've just added an extra piece into our forward up the wall. Forward escapes back down the wall, and then I want to go stick on puck. I've got a close proximity, so I'm able to go jump back to two hands and steal it. So again, a good introduction to some stick on puck, and then we can again build from there if we're going to include a bump to D2 in the front of the net, to D to D, whatever you'd like to go from there. Next, this is something that I encourage quite a bit with minor hockey kids, or even the junior guys struggle with this. The OHL major junior guys struggle with this too at times, is finishing a play, killing a play in the corner and not allowing a forward off the hook is kind of what I call it here. So what I want to do is get this coach to the boards, eliminate him, and be able to free my puck. So I'm able to get him on the wall and then free my puck from him. Same way, I'll get one or two more in here. Same thing, quick little push on the hips, get my puck back. I'm a fan of the push on the hips, but there's a time and a place with that, as there is for everything. But it's important to if we're going to go pop on the hips there, to get our stick back down on the ice as quick as possible. Once we knock that player off balance, get our puck back again. This is something I'll encourage in a 2-on-2 game or a 1-on-1 game to get a player contained on the wall and then attempt to get our puck back, or add another player on the defensive side of the puck. And then we can hit and contain, and then have that supporting player retrieve it or make a pass to that supporting player. Next, we'll jump into 50-50 battles and kind of some ways to recover the puck and then give ourselves an opportunity to make that first play again. So here's our situation. It's off a face-off. This is last season before the pause. So our face-off is our first chance at our 50-50 battle to win that puck. So we won the puck. Now, typically we don't. It'd be nice if our centermen could, but they don't always win pucks directly onto our stick. So there's usually a battle that ensues afterwards. So we want to use our position before possession tactics. So we're going to watch Hedman to recover his puck. So Johnson, he wins our battle into the corner, and then we've got Pavelski versus Hedman in a 50-50 battle to retrieve this puck. So Hedman's able to gain inside position on Pavelski. Yes, he's much longer and bigger, but he's able to gain inside position on him. He's able to recover possession of that puck and then make a D-to-D pass. So we've gone from a one face-off to position before possession to a D-to-D to now we've got a large runway here of ice to take and to skate out or make our first pass. Secondly, here's off a retrieval, a reverse on a retrieval against Sergachev. So puck gets dumped in, Shattenkirk reverses it. Then Sergachev comes in with the position before possession bump, and he's able to retrieve that puck, and then again on his way toes north to make a outlet pass. So shoulder check, there's the bump on the inside through the arms and logo, and make that play. Last one here before we get into our teaching clips is Fox. So a little bit different. He he recognizes pressure and he's going to accept some pressure, accept contact after he's regained possession of this puck. So he definitely has got to step on retrieving this puck off of this rebound, but I really like what he does after he's able to retrieve this puck. So retrieve it, shoulder check, he slows, and then he just builds a strong wall. He's able to withstand that contact and then make a play again. D2 has got 2 forwards, F2 and 3 fanning out, and then he's going to be able to make our outlet pass. We've got lots of ice right now. One more in the corner. Here's our shoulder, and then uses the back of the shoulder, left leg, outside edge to stay strong, withstand contact, and then make a play afterwards. So again, we've just highlighted 2 more skills in generating our pass to get out of our defensive zone. So the puck before possession and our puck strength or body strength gives our players the ability to recover pucks and then withstand some contact pre or post possession. So our teaching clips could be as simple as just chucking a puck in the corner, you versus a player, and then going through gain inside position or shoulder check, gain inside position, get in the hands of our opponent and knowing which direction we're going to escape to. If I get on the inside of this coach here on the right, obviously I got to escape down below the goal line and below my net. Gain inside position. Now I'm able to escape. We'll go one more time. Same thing, pucks in the corner, we take off. I recognize it's a 50-50, so all I'm going to do is try to create an advantage for myself. I'll play one more time. Create an advantage for myself, inside position, and now I'm behind that puck, I'm picking it up on my backhand, and I'm ready to accelerate and go. All right, so similar to the Fox play, we do this with a lot of guys too, in a couple of different variations. Is now we're under contact. D come under contact all the time in the corners, whether it's making a play or about to make a play or retrieving a puck or whatever the situation is. Lots of contact from the circles and in. So I've got to be able to remain strong on my feet, be able to handle or hold my puck and protect it from the player coming in contact with me. So we'll use this quite a bit. So I'm able to stay strong on my feet. I'm protecting it, reaching away from the player that's leaning on me and maintaining full control of my puck and pushing against them. From there, we'll go back into that Fox similar clip. All I'll do is chip my puck in the corner, and then I'm going to build my wall, strong outside edge, left leg. Puck should be on our backhand side. So it'll be on my right toe, and then building a wall with the left side of my body so that I'm able to withstand some contact from my coach here and then fight through that contact. Same thing a couple of times here. So same way I'm taking that contact on the back of my shoulder versus on the inside of my shoulder and inside of that logo. If I was to expose my logo to this coach here, I would end up smack on the wall. So if we can stay strong, use the back of our shoulder to fight through that contact, that'll give ourselves an opportunity to maintain possession of that puck. And then again, put ourselves in a good position to make that first pass, exiting our zone with possession. Last category here is some deception or misdirecting. So we got the puck on our stick now, and we are making plays. So this is just a face-off loss. This clip will be of Shattenkirk. So we'll play it, and then we'll stop a couple times and highlight some of his ability to be deceptive and misdirect. So if we go back to the start here, so he's retrieved his puck off of a block. Right there. So if I can stop it, there we are. So he's retrieved it off of his block. All right, we'll watch him go up the ice. So now he's got these forecheckers, this one in particular is beginning to close on him. He ends up pivoting, and then our two trackers are back through the middle of the ice here. But so as we watch him, he's got his eyes towards the middle of the ice, and he's showing this pass to this weak side forward here. So these forwards, again, they've got no choice but to honor what they see. And they back off and attempt to defend that pass to the weak side of the ice, all while Shattenkirk's just trying to get these players off the wall and buy some time for his forward on the left-hand side here on the strong side wall. So he uses some misdirection by showing pass to the weak side of the ice. His eyes are looking over at the weak side of the ice, and these forwards have no choice but to honor and defend that play. Moves it up the weak side or strong side, and then end up with a POP and then a good chance off of that rebound there. Next play is Sandin. Similar, this is a controlled breakout situation, and he's going to use some misdirection again and just a little slip that's going to beat a couple players up the ice. So we'll go back. Sandin's got his eyes up all the way. All right. And then he looks over at, I'm not sure the forward that's over there, but he's looking at that wall forward right here. So he ends up looking at that wall forward. Meanwhile, he's able to slip that pass beyond two Dallas defenders through the stick of Pavelski there and complete that slip play. And again, we're on the way up the ice. Exited our zone, full possession, and we've got some gap that we're able to build some speed in. So teaching clips. So same way, we've just highlighted some deception and misdirecting. All right, if we're able to equip our players with some of these skills, this is going to create a bit of a setup and a payoff for us. So the forwards have no choice but to honor whatever we are telling them. So if I'm able to use some passing deception and look at a player to pull a player away from my intended target, well, then I can deceive that player with some misdirection. And now I'm able to hit the target of the player that I had intended to make that play to all along and create some time and space for him. So first one, we got three players here, Forster, Phillips, and Holmes, and all they're going to show us here is if we watch their eyes as we go, they're going to look one way, use that misdirecting, and then they're going to fake to the opposite direction. So they're up, look to the left, pull right. Same thing. We're up, look left, pull to the right, and then Jacob does the same thing. He looks and then escapes. So same way, we can start off and introduce and try to teach some of this misdirecting with our eyes, and something similar to this. It doesn't need to be, again, some long drawn out drill where we're isolating exactly what we want to work on, and then we can again build on from there. Same idea with our three players. Now we're just using body fakes, kind of similar to Shattenkirk in his play, along with the misdirecting of the eyes. So we've isolated what we want to work on, and then just a quick little fake, and then use our body fake, and then same thing, fake, and then body fake. And then we can again begin to build from our initial fake. As soon as our players have a strong grasp of it, then we can create a drill where they're forced to use one of these two moves, and then incorporate our pass or begin to work in some pressure from there. So lastly, I've only got a couple more slides here. So for us as coaches and myself, I always go through this and consider a lot of these points, whether it's a skills small group or it's a full team. Anytime I find something new that I want to introduce, there might be some element of regressing that particular skill that we saw in an NHL game, and then if we can regress it down to the ability of our own players or the tactic, so our own players will be obtainable for them to grasp. We don't want them kind of fighting to keep their head above water and when we're introducing something new to them. Isolation is what's going to really kind of aid or enhance that learning process. If we've got this long drawn out, long-winded, murky drill of one thing that we want to work on, but we've got an obstacle course between all that, well, now it's going to make it very difficult for that player to focus on the particular skill or tactic that we want to introduce. So isolate it right down to whatever the skill is that we want to work on. If it's that stick on puck like we showed at the start, then isolate it down to where it's going to be obtainable for that player to grasp. Throughout this whole teaching process of our stick on puck or our hit and contain or our misdirecting, if we're using we've got multiple players involved, let's remove the players and add a coach if we can. I always find it aids in the learning process if I'm involved as I'm trying to introduce something prior to another player. It kind of removes that competition environment and will allow me to I can recognize where that player's maybe accomplished what we want or where he's making a mistake, and then we're able to address it from there. So allowing our player to complete the drill and have some success prior to adding some more players, adding some pressure into it prior to creating a game situation. And then if we're in a team atmosphere, what is this particular skill in our defensive zone? How does it aid in the success of that particular player? How does it help us as a team? And is it something that kid is going to need next year and beyond and beyond? So any of the minor hockey kids that we have on the ice here, is a lot of the stuff that plays that or skills that we come up with. I'll show some of them clips at times of players in the OHL or major junior that are doing something at a high success rate that we want to try to introduce to them, or some of the junior players introduce something new to them and show it to them of an NHL player that is completing something at a high success rate at a similar position and in a similar player. I'm not going to show one of our players, a defenseman that's 6'5", something that Sam Girard is doing, because it doesn't make sense. There's got to place players in a bucket. I heard somebody use that term one time. So if we're going to show them clips of something, let's make sure it's along the same lines as that player. And then when we're explaining these new drills, tactics, let's allow these kids to get some reps in. So let's keep our explanation short. If they're making mistakes, that's okay. Allow them to work through it. We can do some teaching in the line if it's a larger group or a team. Let's let them get a couple reps in and see if they can figure that out on their own. They don't need us always in their ear all the time. And then let's keep our points to a minimum. Again, we don't need to get to cloud our kids' heads with 3 and anything more than 3 points. And then it just gets very challenging for them to kind of comprehend and remember everything, along with the pressures of us being on the ice with them also. So a couple more things if you're a player that we want to consider. Now, if I'm got some kids on the ice, I'm started to probably a year ago ask them quite a few questions just so that I can gain some information from them, because they don't always speak up a whole lot when it comes to certain things unless it's a one-on-one situation. So let's make sure our players understand what we're teaching them and the teaching points. They're aware of kind of the progression of teaching points that they need to attempt to execute if we're talking about a hit and contain situation. Do they know the time and the place to execute that particular skill? I see it a lot with that hit and contain tactic with pushing on the hips. Yeah, it works great in the corner, and it's a very specialized skill to use, but it doesn't work really anywhere on the ice unless that player is in front of us and along the wall. If that player is toes up ice or toes down ice along the wall, their kids are too strong. They'll be able to handle that contact. It only works kind of if we're able to get them on the back of the pants. I see kids kind of skating all over the ice because they've been shown that, and now it's a black or white situation where we've got to probably do a better job of explaining the time and a place for that particular hit and contain skill. Is our player confident with what we're introducing? And again, so that's another question we can ask them. Are they comfortable? Have we given them enough reps? We don't know any of this until we're able to ask them if that player is comfortable and confident with what we've taught them. If not, we could have multiple players on the ice where we know everybody learns differently. So there could be a kid that completely understands, and there could be two kids that are struggling with a certain aspect of it. So as we ask, we're going to get the information we need to help them out a little bit more. I'm sure we're all skilled communicators. If we communicate to them on what they're comfortable with and do they have a grasp on it, we may need to alter our explanation of what we're trying to teach to accommodate everybody on the ice. And then, do they know the why? All right. So why are we introducing stick on puck? And if it's like our first clip with Petrie, yeah, the stick on puck is great, but let's give them a little bit more in that situation where, hey, little Johnny, when that puck goes up to their D-man, we want to try to play 5-on-5, or teams do this typically is play 5 1-on-1s. Man on man. So that's going to force you now need to close your gap, and then you're going to have to anticipate a pass potentially coming to the player that you are covering. So be aware of that and be ready, because stick on puck is something that is going to help you, help us get the puck back. And then we've seen the potential result of regaining possession and exiting our zone with the puck and entering the neutral zone and offensive zone with the puck. And lastly here, video evidence. I've started doing it a little while ago, and if we're going to work on something with guys, send them some video a day or two prior to going on the ice. The players love seeing something that we're going to teach them that an NHL player does. I've shown it before, that Sandine retrieval with the toe turn. I've showed that to kids. Our young D-man or OHL D-man here, and they love that stuff. They're able to see it. Is going to help them visually understand what we're trying to do, and then they're fired up because they're learning something that they're going to be able to recognize in a hockey game, or where they recognize that Sandine's done it, and that'll aid in their enthusiasm on the ice. And then let's keep our video short and to the point. It doesn't need to be a long-winded, drawn-out analysis of what's going on. We can teach them on the ice, but showing the video and giving them a little bit of context will go a long way in helping them understand what we're trying to teach them. So that's my last slide there. So thank you everybody for participating there. We're almost 40 minutes on the dot there. So it's good timing.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Zach, for that presentation on skills to generate a first pass. I think you've touched on a lot of things, the before and after. I think sometimes it's just not making the first pass, obviously. That was great. For everyone here, all the conferences will be available on the coach's site on a later date. We still don't have the date yet, but we will keep you posted on any update that we have. Before moving on to the questions, if you have any questions, please use the chat. Alex will take a look and grab some Good question. Obviously, it could be about the presentation today, but if you have any other related question, go ahead. Make sure you follow us on every social media. Me, Alex, Zach, we are all there. We're all friendly. We answer mostly all the questions. Before moving to the questions, a little chat here. You will receive later tonight an email, everyone. So you will have some drills drawn by Coach Dem, drills made by Zach about the topic today, based on the topic. So you could introduce that into your practice. For the email, make sure you're looking into your spam or junk email. I don't know why some of them just go straight there, so you don't want to miss that chance. And lastly, before moving to the questions, we would like to thank our partners. Because of our partners, we're able to do this. But on top of that, they allowed us to have a bigger exposure, so we can reach more coaches. Because first thing first, we're doing this for you guys and girls, trying to share our knowledge, and we just try to bring people all together. So we would like to say thank you to Coach Dem. If you want to subscribe to Coach Dem, they're giving a coupon that you can save 15% off for a full year. It's BTD 15. Thanks to the coaches site. Like I said, all the conferences will be there. You can save $20 on the coaches side by using the coupon BTD 21. We would like to say thanks to True Hockey. At the end of the 10 conferences, they will have some giveaways. They have gloves and other things that we don't know yet. And we would like to say thank you to Hockey Quebec and Hockey Canada to allow us to use the platform, and again, to just expose everyone across the country. Let's move on to the questions. I have some questions from the form here, and I'm gonna let Alex after me asking some questions on the chat. So Zach, first question by Kevin. How do these tactics change or differ for a D playing on their offside or off wing?
Yeah, that's definitely challenging. That's something that playing on your offside, there's some advantages and disadvantages if your stick is depending on which side of the stick your body is on. So if I'm a lefty on the right side, depending on where you're going to try to flush that puck out might differ than if I'm a lefty playing on my left side, and your ability to protect a pass through the dots versus if you're on the other side also. So it definitely makes it a little bit more challenging to defend. Also, if you're on the offside and you've got that puck back, it's difficult to make I mean, like, you're probably on your backhand too. So there's a lot of skill that goes into improving a player's backhand and playing on the offside. But if I'm a player, I know that's what when I had played, I put a lot of time and effort into improving my backhand, just because that made sure I was have the coach's trust to play the offside if I had to. Typically coaches at the older levels are try to match up lefty righty, but it's definitely probably more challenging to defend and more challenging to get that puck back. Now you're making a play on your backhand versus your forehand.
Okay, thanks. Yannick is asking, which deception skills should you practice to generate a first pass? Now, if you're really breaking down like that deception aspect.
So if you're going to look at, like, anything, kind of start at the top and work your way down. If you're the younger guys, you can work on that misdirecting with the eyes. If you're older, maybe you've already got that skill, and you can work in some body fakes and go from there. But the deception piece is so valuable for a defenseman to have, to be able to misdirect a player. So I don't know if there's maybe one aspect, but you're going to start one area and then work your way down from misdirecting using your eyes, and then shoulder fake, and then a stick fake, and then you can progress into misdirecting with your eyes and then make that pass. And then you can introduce all different types of pressure as the coach too, which way you're going to pressure your player into. If you're going to press him towards the boards, maybe he looks to the middle of the ice and then he's able to make that breakout pass up the wall. So there's lots of different ways we can spider web from the original misdirecting of the eyes and then introducing pressure and outlets and all that type of stuff.
Great. Connor, I think it's a great question because I think skills guys are a bit different from head coach, but still. Do you plan your skills practice down to the minutes, or do you allow for wiggle room if you need to take more time or something?
Yeah, we so if I'm working with the AAA organization here and we've got a team on the ice, typically with our older teams, we'll get an hour and 20 minutes on the ice. We will kind of commit minutes, I guess, to certain things. If I'm introducing something new, I know that, or if we're introducing something that we know that there might be a couple of stumbling blocks there. So if I set aside maybe of our hour and 20 minutes of doing something, we've got 10 minutes where we're able to bring the guys in, show them it, and then send them back to where they're going. I use a lot of stations as well too, so that allows us to keep everybody moving. But if a station needs a little more attention than the others, then we're able to assist in whatever we're working on at that particular station, not disrupting whatever else is going on the ice also. So it takes our 3 coaches and 15 kids, really minimizes it down to 1 coach and 3 or 4 kids if we do some station work.
Great. Kayla is asking, how have you been able to adapt your coaching style over the years?
I haven't done a whole lot of, I mean, I've only coached 1 year in minor hockey. Was assisted minor midget AAA team a couple years ago. But I do a lot of adjust. I guess you could say adjusting or just investing time into something I love to do too. So I'll watch the presentations that guys are doing here. I ask a lot of questions to some guys that have done it for a very long time. Dave Cameron, I'll talk with frequently on different things. Daniel Tkachuk has been a mentor of mine, and he helps me out a ton. So I'm always asking questions or taking part in whether it's a skills presentation or coaches presentations to keep myself informed.
And the last question before moving to Alex, and it's a challenging one, but everyone is in the same boat now. With these challenging time with the COVID, what are some suggestions during the COVID when there is no ice?
That's a good one. That's what we're going through in Ontario right now. Is we're on stay at home. So I've had a couple players, minor hockey guys, reach out to me. I always take it as if you're going to do something on the wintertime on your backyard rink, or you're going out into the driveway and doing stuff, let that be that player's own time. Like, I'll assist them a little bit if they really are asking me for something. But to me, that's kind of the time where it's that player's time to be creative, and if we are sending our players something to work on, let them figure it out. I know when I see some players, like kids can be overcoached so much to the point where you introduce, I call them figure it out games, but you introduce figure it out games and it's like their head is spinning. They're not quite sure what to do. They're asking a whole bunch of questions because they've never been forced to work their way through or think their way through a certain situation. So allowing a kid to just be creative in the driveway and shoot or whatever, to me, that's his own time. And then we can assist a little bit, but
Let them be a kid.
yeah.
Alex?
Yes, thank you, Mitch. I got 3 questions. Martin Laperrière from Quebec Junior Major Hockey League. What percentage do you recommend junior teams should spend teaching skill during their practices?
That's always the tough question. Like, where's the balance in all of this, right? So you can use a portion of every practice. It might if it's a major junior team and if it's a Monday practice, you don't play till Friday. Well, you can use a little bit more time. But if it's a Wednesday and you play on Friday, well, maybe you only commit to 10 minutes that day to doing something. We can do skills as a warm up, or we can do, I mean, it's easy enough to do, if we want to do corner cutbacks, that's a warm up drill that you can throw the guys in the corner, have them go up the wall, bump that puck towards the wall, escape towards the wall, and then take a shot on net. Spend 5 minutes on that. You've just done cutbacks in the offensive zone. That works into whatever offensively you're trying to do as a team. So you can commit as much time as you want to it, I guess, but there's got to be a balance for one, and then based on your schedule, you can always incorporate some type of skill every practice. It's just finding ways to sneak it in.
Thanks. You talk about the center responsibility down low in our own zone at the beginning of the presentation. Outside of the face-off, center being the low forward. I'm teaching F1, F2, and F3 on the back check. Just looking for clarity.
So if you're going to F1, F2, F3 on the back check, like your centerman, your player that takes the draw isn't always going to be F1. As soon as you get to a certain level, like there'll be switches in the defensive zone to make sure that Austin Matthews is that low forward and not Mitch Marner being that low forward. If you're teaching F1, F2, F3, that's a challenging concept for players to grasp originally. Making sure that each player is well aware of their responsibilities if they are F1, and then if it's not going the way you envisioned, just keep sticking with it. Don't go back to one particular player always low forward, because they're not really learning anything out of that. It's gonna potentially be ugly for a portion of time when you're introducing it and teaching it. You just got to kind of stick with it and take your lumps, and then the players will be better because of it next year beyond that.
Thanks. Last one. At what age will you separate these D skill to just D man versus teaching the whole team D skill?
If we're our Monday night stuff that we do our skill development with, we will, and older teams, we will have stations designed around D specific. We'll have stations designed around forward specific. They will all do that. It's easily, if we're talking about retrievals for defensemen, we can easily change our explanation into retrievals for forward and give that forward a little more context. So we're able to adjust our explanation a little bit. So any skill work, still players still do everything. If we get into some drills and some game situation type stuff, then definitely forwards are working on what they are responsible for knowing and improving at, and D, the same thing.
Thanks. Thanks, Zach. I really appreciate. I'll just
Thank
share
you.
my screen to show everyone our next speaker. Zach, it's always a pleasure to have you. And I know that we'll keep in touch and talk. And like Mitch said, it's easy to join us on social media, and you'll be happy to answer other questions if there's, I'm sure.
100%. If anybody's got any questions for me, reach out to me, social media. I'd be happy to help out or talk hockey, anything.
So thank you very much, everyone. And next, the 27th of April, same hour, we'll have Mike McInnes, Hockey Alberta Regional Manager and Skill. Mike will talk about net front battle from different perspectives. So have a good evening, everyone, and thank you very much. Bye.